new entrants, these are new businesses trying to come into the industry. If new businesses are unable to go into that industry, it means there are barriers to entry. And if it is also difficult for firms to leave the industry, these are what we call barriers to exit. So the barriers to exit might also bring about barrier to entry. So if a new firm, understands that if it goes into that industry, for example, the educational industry, so a firm going into the educational industry and it finds out that it is difficult to stop operating in that industry, it might lose interest in going to that industry. So the barrier to exit has been about the barrier to entry. So the point is, the extent at which it becomes easier or difficult for firms to go in or out of an industry, it's also one of the ways to determine if the market structure is monopoly or oligopoly or monopolistic. For monopoly, there's always barrier to entry. It means there's only a single seller in the industry, so no new entrants, no exit. That is monopoly. So that's the second one. The third one, the extent to which goods in the market are similar. In some industries, products are essentially the same whichever firm produces them. Coal, steel, and rice are examples. This does not mean that there are no different grades of coal or types of steel, but no producer has a monopoly on the production of any particular grade or type. Groups that are identical are called homogeneous groups. So the third characteristic or the third features of a market structure is the kind of goods being produced. Are they similar goods which are homogeneous or not? If they are homogeneous goods, it means in this market, no firm has the capacity or the audacity to stop another from producing. That is what it means. But you will be able to differentiate your product in this market because each firm will have its own brand. So in such industry, they use product differentiation because the competition is high in such industry. So it's more of a perfect competition. So the firms find it much easier to control their market if they can produce goods that are non-homogeneous, differentiating their products from those of their competitors, which is called product differentiation. And creating brands allow them to build up a brand loyalty. This in turn leads to a reduction in the elasticity of demand for their product. A brand or a branded good may be physically or no different from its competitors, or it may be slightly different but branding has value for the firm because consumers think that the product is very different. So wherever products are very poor substitutes for it, this view is developed through advertising and marketing and enables firms to charge higher prices, which we call premium price. So the point we're making here is that about selling homogeneous product. When firms sell homogeneous product, it means they have to find a way to differentiate. They have to find a way to differentiate their product, and being able to differentiate their product will be by finding a brand name for its product, finding a brand name for their product, finding a unique selling point for their product. If they are able to do this, then the demand for their product will become price inelastic because customers will see their products different from those of the competitors. Despite the fact that they produce similar goods, but for the fact that they are able to create a brand for themselves, which brings about brand loyalty, it makes the product different from those of the competitors. And for business to do this, they might have to invest more on advertisements. Because if they are able to invest more on advertisements, it allows them to charge a premium price. That's about the extent to which goods in the market look similar or different. The fourth one. The extent to which all firms in the market share the same knowledge. Buyers and sellers are said to have perfect knowledge of prices, outputs, and products. Therefore, if one firm were to put up its prices, it would lose to all its customers because they would buy from elsewhere in the industry. Hence, there can only be one price in the market. Perfect knowledge also implies that a firm has access to all information which is available to other firms in its industry. So, for a perfect knowledge, we're talking about in a market that there's no asymmetric information, a market that customers, suppliers, rivals, competitors, they have access to information. So if they have access to information, that means there's a perfect knowledge. So having a perfect knowledge does not imply that all firms in an industry will possess all information. An inefficient farmer might not bother to gather relevant information, which is readily available. In the short term, the farmer might survive through, although in the longer term, and the farm will be driven out of business by more efficient competitors. Equally, perfect information does not imply that all firms know everything about their industry and its future. Farmers do not know, so we have to just, perfect knowledge only means that all firms have the same access to information. We call it perfect knowledge because all firms have access to the same information. Not that they know everything about the product, about the service, about the future in the market. They don't know, but they have equal information. So we call it perfect information because all firms in that industry have equal access to information. So the information that is accessible to firm A is the same that is accessible to firm B, firm C, firm D, firm E. That is what perfect knowledge is about. So firms have imperfect knowledge, where for instance, there are industrial secrets. Individual firms do not know the market share of their competitors, or they may be unaware of new technology or new products to be launched by rival companies. Information could then act as a barrier to entry, preventing or discouraging new firms from entering the industry. So there is imperfect knowledge when firms in that industry do not have equal information. And because there is no equal information, it could act as a barrier for new entrants. So new firms will not want to go into the market because they don't have the same information that their competitors have. And if their competitors are having more information than them, it means the competitors will have advantage and edge over them. So they might not be interested in going into that market, and that brings about a barrier to entry. And as a result of that market could become a monopoly or oligopoly. The last one, the extent to which the actions of one firm will affect another firm. Here we're talking about the interdependence in the firm, in the market. There are two possible relationships between firms and in an industry. First may be the independence of each other. This means that the actions of any of one firm will have no significant impact on another single firm in the industry. So a firm might be independent. So here, firm may be independent. If a firm is independent, it means the action of firm A does not have any impact in firm B. That is what independent is. But interdependent means the action of firm A might have a significant impact in the operations of firm B. That is the point they're making it. So if firms are interdependent, then the action of one firm will have an impact on other firms. An advertising campaign for one brand of soap bar, for instance, is designed mainly to attract customers away from other brands. So firms are more likely to be interdependent if there are few firms in the industry. Interdependence implies uncertainty. For example, one firm in the market does not know how other firms will react if it makes a change to the price of a product or spending on an advertising campaign. If the market is independent, it means the action of a firm does not affect the other. The action of a firm does not impact positively or negatively on other firms. That is independence. But when it comes to interdependence, it means the action of one firm will definitely impact on other firms. For example, they make the example of pricing here. So what it simply implies is that when there's interdependence in the market, it means there's uncertainty. Why is there uncertainty? There's uncertainty because firms do not know what could happen, the reactions of other firms in the market whenever they take an action. That is the point they're making here. So when there's interdependence in the market, it means that the action of one firm would have impact on other firms, and there's uncertainty because firms will not know how other firms will react whenever they take an action. So the reaction of other firms are unknown. So this can also be part of the features or characteristics of a market that makes it to be a monopoly, that makes it to be oligopoly, that makes it to be monopolistic. So these are all features of market structure. In the next class, we'll talk about competition and market structure. Thank you.